Good afternoon and welcome to 4K4U. We are back. That is right. It has been a while. It's been a while. Now we're sorry it took so long to do the show. Welcome, Valliant. How you doing?
I'm good. How about you? Good to be back live at 5 on a Wednesday.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's hot here.
I know. It's warm down here too. I'm pretty much about 1,000 miles due south of you. So
yeah, the humidity is the shit that'll kill you.
Yeah, we get plenty of that down here. That's for sure. So
sorry, I was taking a drink there. So how you been lately? It's been a while, like we said.
I know. This is just the springtime for me is crazy. I know you had a couple of things, a couple of those Wednesdays, but it's been mostly me. Just with everything going on. In fact, there's another, recital concert this evening that I've got to get to. It's, I've got to leave out of here probably by, 6:30 at the absolute latest. But it's just tough, man. Into school year, especially, like I said, springtime, so many events going on with all the work that my wife is involved in, which then involves me having to do kind of tech support for the stuff that she does. So, yeah, it makes it difficult. But good to be back. Good to be back.
Indeed, and we're glad to have you back. And this is the de facto season 2. Same time, same concept, but new channel, new season. We decided to move this over to Midnight's Edge After Dark. There's just a ton of shows that are already on the main channel, so yeah, figured why not. So hopefully everybody finds us. So far, it seems like over 40 of you have. Please hit that like button. Looks like we got some regulars here already, like Captain Fandom Nerd. We got Coffee Lover here. We got No Legs to Stand On. We got Trav 101. We got D-Bud Martin here. How you doing, Doba Fett? We got lovely Sherry in the house. We have Dragon Master 360. Here, welcome, Darius Munchausen, as well. We got Hitchhiker 42, who sent in a 2-pound super chat and says, the 4K12 Monkeys is the latest faulty disc so bad? Yes, actually, I was going to bring that up here in a little bit, but we might as well just bring it up now. But they've already addressed it. I
almost pre-ordered that one.
I have it actually right here because I brought it up just to talk about it because, as I said, we were going to mention it. Mm-hmm. But I guess it has a similar issue that the Hard Day's Night disc had. There's a couple of scenes and shots that are repeated accidentally. So they are fixing it. So... sorry, I was eating some nuts. So they are fixing it. I said eating, not sucking. No. This is a children's program or family show. No.
Oh, then it belongs on the Disney Channel in that case.
Hopefully they'll address that soon. I'm trying to remember where the fuck I ordered that from. But as soon as I find out what's going on with that and how to get your replacement, we'll let you know. They are working on that now, though, so at least they've addressed it. Unlike other people, Warner, Paramount, which is another thing we'll talk about here in a few minutes when we get into some of the main topics of the day. But Darius Munchausen sending in some popcorn, I bet that is. I bet. Let me see. I don't even have my thing up here. Holy crap.
Yeah, you know what? I just navigated away from it. I was looking up something else. Let's see. Yes, it is popcorn.
I don't even have it up, period. Like, crap. We're just in the StreamYards as far as I'm concerned. All right, here we go. Now I've got the other chat brought up here so we can see what y'all are sending. We like seeing the super stickers and know what they is. So yeah. And Stan Lee brings up the fact that the last he heard there wasn't going to be a 3D Blu-ray released anywhere for Spider-Man No Way Home, or No Come Home as it's called around here.
I know. Every time Andre does that, like, I crack up laughing. I don't know why that gets me so bad. But when he says Spider-Man No Come Home, I'm like...
because the Spider-Man No Come Home is not on my Netflix. I get home and it's not there. I wanted to see the Spider-Man No Come Home.
Yeah. When you do that, I think... And Andre did that on the show.
He does it. He says that's what it should be called.
He started doing that, yeah. And I got to tell you this. When I was recording the... when I was recording my last video I just did talking about the box office financials for Doctor Strange, I had to do like 2 or 3 retakes because I kept saying Spider-Man No Come Home.
You should have just left it.
I thought about it and I'm like, nobody's going to get that because it's not all Midnight's Edge audience. Because I'm like, but damn. I was like, Spider-Man No Come Home.
Yeah, but you know what that does then? You know what that does, Valiant? You say that. Then it generates comments. Why did you call it No Come Home?
This is true.
And then you get to answer said comments, and hence gets a little bit more activity going on your video. There you go.
It's good thinking.
I have some smirts. Frank Rizzo's in the house. Who? Frank Rizzo. Open your ears, jackass.
This is Frank Rizzo.
Frank who? Frank Rizzo's in the house. He's got Kid Rock.
I know. I saw it.
Fireworks.
And a bag of charcoal.
A bag of charcoal. He's ready for summer, kids.
Yeah.
Welcome back. Well, thank you so much, Frank Rizzo. We appreciate that. And welcome back to you to the show. We're so glad to finally get to talk some 4K Blu-ray. We even got some regular Blu-ray news. We got, believe it or not, some 3D Blu-ray news. Kids, I couldn't believe it myself, but I just pre-ordered it myself here earlier today. Spider-Man No Way Home is coming to 3D Blu-ray in Australia.
So all of our Australian Robot Head will get to watch it in 3D. So that's great.
Which is weird, because the last time I had to do this was because even the UK, they used to at least release them still in the UK for like the last, I don't know, handful of Marvel movies I've had to import from the UK, which no big deal. They're usually region free anyway. But the last one that I really had to kind of dig for was Venom. They didn't even do one for Venom 2, but for Venom 1, I had to import it from Japan.
I still have one Japanese import on Laserdisc, and it was Phantom Menace because they didn't put it here in the US.
That is true.
Still have it. Good nostalgia piece.
People were ranking DVDs off that bastard.
Oh, yeah. And you knew which ones they were, because when they got to the pod race scene and they were speaking whatever alien gibberish the announcers were speaking, Star Wars lingo, instead of having English subtitles, you had katakana Japanese.
I'd like to see the differences. I have the old VHS copy of that, which is ostensibly the same thing, because he did add some shit back into the pod race sequence. I forgot all about that. Mm-hmm. And we've only seen that version for years, so I wonder what was added. I never even paid attention.
I don't remember anymore.
I remember it's like
20 years ago.
There's like just little bits and pieces of like the intro. I think he extended the intro a little bit and stuff like that, but we wouldn't notice now because it's probably been 30 years since any of us have seen that version, 20 years, whatever.
Yeah.
But Trav 101 says, do you think we will get the 90s TMNT on 4K? I in fact think that we will at least get the first film at some point here in 4K. There is supposedly a master done because they re-released it last year, or the year before it was, for Fathom events for the 30th anniversary.
I was going to say, wasn't it 30 years old last year? Yeah, okay.
1990 it was, yeah. So, or 2000 it would have been. And Fathom did do an event in October of 2000, but of course, lockdowns happened. And yeah, we just haven't heard anything about a Blu-ray yet, but I got to imagine at some point here, Warner Brothers will get on that. They've also been sitting on 4K print of Nightmare on Elm Street and a few others too. And actually, it's funny. You know what? We'll talk about that now. I wanted to gripe a little bit about Warner Brothers because they've got steelbooks coming out of Bonnie and Clyde and Deliverance for the anniversary. And as far as I can tell, they're just re-releases of the old Blu-rays. How in the fuck do you not release those two movies in 4K?
Yeah.
Especially Deliverance.
I was going to say, I mean, I mean, everybody wants an unmastered DTS. I mean, don't you want that? And I want that in uncompressed DTS.
Fuck yes. Not only that, just the cinematography of that film. Because they got all that stuff before they flooded that valley and shit.
In the Chattahoochee River. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, I mean.
And who doesn't want to see Ned Beatty get dolphin loved?
Make you squeal like a pig, boy. On that, Hitcher also asked about Austin Powers. I thought I heard this one. I'm not so sure on. I thought I heard they did a master of the first one in 4K, or maybe the second one. There might be a master sitting there, but New Line has not gotten much love from Warner Brothers. Like they have not. Blade is the only New Line title besides the Lord of the Rings that I can think of that has a 4K Blu-ray.
And I think they only did that because of the MCU going on talking about a new Blade. So, I mean, they're like, well, okay, then maybe we can get some jack off of this now. and sell it and go and make some money here. And
You
then
said jack off.
I did. I said some jack off of this. Yeah, okay, I said it.
But yeah, Austin Powers
You know
makes
what I
total
mean.
sense. At some point, I can see them definitely getting a 4K release, at least the first two. I don't know about the third. They'd probably do a trilogy, I'd imagine. Spawn would be a good one for 4K. I haven't heard about that one recently, too. The only thing about Spawn I would worry about is the effects.
That's exactly what I was going to say. The other movies we mentioned, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, was all practicals. It was costumes. There was no CGI.
The only
really.
downside there is I wonder how they would have handled because they shot the turtle stuff at a higher frame rate or a lower frame rate, sorry. So that when you play it in normal frame rate, it's sped up a little bit. So they do the processing on the film like they do like with Gremlins and Little Shop of Horrors. I'm curious
that shouldn't be a problem. I doubt it because I'll put it this way. I have to redo frame rates all the time. Well, you probably do too. I mean, because like if you download a YouTube video, like a trailer or something to use for little bits and clips and stuff in a YouTube video, usually when I download them, they come down at like 25 FPS. And
that's what I'm saying. They could do it digitally now, but it's a matter of if they have
it. Yeah, that is all done pretty easily.
But Gremlins, I know a lot of people bitched about Gremlins, and I could see why because I watched it again this last Christmas. Because the first time I watched it, I'm like, no, what the hell are y'all bitching about? That's the best that movie's ever fucking looked. And I should know. I've seen it 100 million times. And then I realized this Christmas why people are saying that is because all the Gremlins stuff and Gizmo stuff was shot at a lower frame rate so they could speed it up. And they have the processed film instead of the negative. So it's I don't know how many steps away from the negative when they jump to the Gremlin scenes.
Yeah.
Especially like you can notice it, like watch the scene where you see the gremlin eating the cookie. You can tell when it jumps between shots of the mother and the gremlin, like the difference between, oh, now it's the negative. Now it's definitely a process shot. Now it's the negative. Now it's a process shot. You can definitely tell. So that's where I can see people were bitching about that one, but
yeah,
it's understandable. But at the same time, I'm like, why don't you just go back to the original negative? You can digitally speed it up the way you need it to, even if you have to fuck with it a little bit. It's a lot easier to do it now with digital than it ever was with film and analog.
Exactly.
Right? Because if something drifts, you're fucked.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And that's just it. You can, if they still have the original negatives at whatever frame rate, and it's not like they would have shot it at a radically lower. I mean, they didn't shoot it at 12.
I think they were only shooting them.
And then sped it up to 24.
I think it was like 18.
18 to 20 is what I was going to guess.
Like that. Yeah, I think 18.
Yeah, maybe a 25% speed increase. So you go from 20.
Now, Little Shop, I think, was shot at 12 frames per second, but that's because that fucking plant was so big.
Oh, yeah, maybe. But I'll put it this way. I mean, I've got Little Shop on
the Blu-ray looks good, but
the Blu-ray, I have it on I bought it off iTunes, so I've got the digital. I don't remember if it's in 4K or not.
No, not yet.
I didn't think so. But I'll say this for the high def version, I mean, it looks pretty good. Like there's not a whole lot of shift between, Rick Moranis with no plant and plant. I don't think it's that noticeable. So I don't think there'd be a terrible difference between that. It just how they processed it.
That seems like one that Warner would probably get on eventually, though. That's why I keep bringing it. I think that they will. I think Little Shop is that will happen soon. But I heard about the 12 Monkeys. Hopefully we'll hear about that soon. We got all the super chats, so we're caught up there. I just wanted to make sure. Because we're going to break into some news now. Since we've been gone for a while, now we're going to mention some titles I'm sure we've talked about before. But I'm going to go through the announcements. So this is actual stuff that has been announced. This is confirmed, and I'm going to give you the dates before I announce each title. On June 7th, we're going to start with June since we're already into May. June 7th, we're getting Lawrence of Arabia on 4K by itself for the first time.
Pre-ordered that a month ago.
Woo-hoo. Yeah, and then I seen that night. I was pissed because I'm like, that steelbook looks so bitchin'. And I'm like, fuckers, I already got it in the original set.
Yeah, you got the pretty box set, though.
Yeah, I do. But like, God, that steelbook looks nice. And we also get The Northman that day. I know we normally don't mention too many new movies on this channel when we talk about the news because it's more about classic films. But hey, it is nice to mention some of the newer ones people are looking forward to. And we have a few of those in this list today. And we may do that more often. We'll see. But yeah, Northman comes out on June 7th. For those who are wondering when they're going to get a chance to see that outside of the theater, there is your answer. So I'd imagine that's going to hit digital sometime real soon in the next couple weeks here. And then June 14th, jumping ahead, we've got, speaking of new movies, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, and Morbius.
I want to see that. Actually, I'm really interested.
And I think that was shot in like 5 or 6K or whatever with the red cameras or
Yeah.
whatever they're called, and they actually mastered that in 4K, I think.
Yeah, because there's no reason not to.
Well, it's got a bunch of special effects in it and stuff like that.
Does it?
Yeah, it's kind of like
it had too many.
Yeah, everybody was saying that it's a better Doctor Strange movie than Doctor Strange was because it's all about jumping through multiverses and shit.
And a writer that could actually competently make that work and not bust every rule just to make the plot happen.
Yeah, so yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. So that and Morbius I am kind of looking forward to, but in like a sadistic way.
I want to punish myself that
masochistic.
weekend.
That's it, masochistic way, I guess. Or was
Yeah.
it? Which one is the one where you like to be masochistic?
Sadomasochism.
I can't remember which one it is.
Yeah.
So then June 21st, I believe, we get Shaft on 4K from Criterion. Looking forward to that one specifically.
Shut your mouth.
But I'm talking about Shaft.
Okay.
You can dig it. Then we get Giant from Warner Brothers on 4K. That'd be the what's his face? He didn't work out. The kid, the guy, James Dean movie. There we go. Couldn't think of the name. Ain't it?
Sorry, I was looking up something.
Yeah. And then we also get, speaking of new films, Unbearable Weight of Talent and all that business, whatever the hell that movie's called with
Nick Cage.
Yeah, the long ass titled one, which I really want to see. Yeah,
I want to see that when Mr. H made it come. He finally saw it today. He said he loved it.
I heard it's really good. Everybody who's seen it says it's amazing. Yeah. I think Paulie saw it too and said it was really good. Then we get the classic Uncle Sam in 4K from Blue Underground. So there you go on that. June 28th, we get Out of Sight, which we've talked about here in the past from Kino Lorber. I'm looking forward to that one. We get Killer's Kiss on 4K as well from Kino Lorber that day on the 28th. True Romance is making its U.S. debut from Arrow, and it has already been released outside of the U.S. I have the other version. It is basically the same exact thing if you already have it, so don't freak out and think you got to get some new version. But for those who weren't able to get their hands on the foreign version previously, now is your chance to get your hands on it now, and it's a really, really good edition, and I'll probably talk a little bit more about that when we get closer to it. Then we got on July 5th, we have Okja, which I think we brought up before, coming from Criterion in 4K, and Virgin Suicides as well. And then we have Raging Bull coming on July 12th. That was one I think I predicted a while back here, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
And then on July 19th, we get The Devil in a Blue Dress. That'd be the Denzel Washington classic from Criterion in 4K. God Told Me To, which is a classic slasher film in 4K from Blue Underground. And then we get The Lion of the Desert and The Message in 4K, which are some Mustafa Akkad biblical epics, or not biblical, but historical epics, if I remember right. And then on July 26th, we got Eternal Sunshine, which is one I think we've teased in the past. Finally got a date for it, though. The Killing is coming on 4K. Dog Soldiers is coming on 4K that day. This is a big day for 4K. So if you guys, this is going to break your bank if you're getting half of these movies, because July 26th is going to be a big day. Funhouse, as I mentioned before, 4K. Species is coming in 4K. Tenebrae is coming in Tenebrae, however you say that, sorry, it's coming in 4K. Out of the Blue is coming in 4K. That's a newer film, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. No, that's an older film. And then Lost City is the new one. That is also coming in 4K. That's that one with Sandra Bullock in it. And then on August 9th, this is one you're excited about, Event Horizon.
Get down there.
Here we go. This is one that we've talked about a couple times in the past, and we've speculated we'll be getting soon.
Oh, it's pre-ordered. It was done the minute it hit for pre-order.
Yeah.
Bing! Take my money.
Because I got the Shout Factory one from like 2 years ago. That was from this same 4K master, but it was only a regular Blu-ray. But it has all the goodies on it. Now, this is a Paramount release, so I'm going to tell you guys right now, it probably won't have any special features whatsoever because
there's a couple. There's not much.
I have this.
Yeah.
And this, much like Shout released it with a couple of special features, this is a bare bones release. This is also the fucked up one too, by the way. We'll get into that. I was going to say
what they have on there. So this is a new 4K restoration of the film, or at least the one that they used to produce the Blu-ray. But we've never seen the full.
Well, it's only been released in digital. Yeah.
Yeah. We've got the audio commentary by Paul Anderson. We've got the making of Event Horizon 5 featurettes, The Point of No Return, the filming of Event Horizon with director commentary, Secrets with optional director commentary. Don't know exactly what that is yet. And then another title called The Unseen Event Horizon, the unfilmed rescue scene plus the conceptual art. Now, a lot of folks were asking me when I posted this on Twitter yesterday, oh, God, I hope they have the footage of all the extra gore and stuff that they never showed because it would have been NC-17. I'm like, don't know anything about that. That would be cool, but I wouldn't bank on it.
Don't quote me on this because I have never really dug into the Shout Factory Blu-ray. I think they have like some VHS copy of it or something like that.
Somebody told me that
that's it.
On that Twitter post that I made. They said there was like a VHS grade
I
copy.
believe it's on that Shout Factory release.
Okay, well then
but it's VHS quality, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and I said, I mean, if that's the best quality of it they have, then they never really shot it. Maybe they shot it with VHS just to test shoot.
Well, what that means actually usually is they got rid of the negatives.
Yeah.
They don't have them anymore, and they don't have any of the 35
I'm surprised
prints.
They would have gotten rid of them entirely.
You'd be surprised, Valiant. You'd be fucking surprised.
Yeah, but I guess it's more surprising that the only thing that they have left is VHS, like not even Betamax at that point.
Well, that's probably because one of the directors or producers or writers or somebody who worked on the film still had a copy of it from an earlier cut.
Somewhere, yeah.
And unless somebody can unearth those early cuts, which sometimes those get dismantled in the process too.
Yeah.
And in which case they usually toss out the items they don't need. We've had fires. I can't remember if this is I think this was a Miramax title originally, if I'm not mistaken. So that might be another questionable as to where the fuck the original negative even is. Because that was the problem back then, is I believe Dimension and Miramax used to throw away a lot of shit. That's why there was that other version of The Crow that's never seen the light of day, the second one, the City of Angels, that's supposed to be better cut and stuff like that, and nobody knows where the footage is. So yeah. But yeah, there's stuff out up there about it if you want to check it out. In fact, I just got somebody who sent me a story about it here, so if you guys want to, I'll share this in the chat so you can see what that business is all about with the deleted versions and all that right there. Because I don't have the time right now to get into that, although I would otherwise.
Yeah, somebody sent me a YouTube video link, and I started watching it today, but I didn't have time to finish it. But it's only about 15 minutes, but I think it had some references to that footage in there and what it was. So,
and then on August 9th, we get Drive, the 97 film in 4K. And jumping ahead to August 23rd, we get Paths of Glory and Dragons Forever, in 4K. And then here's a couple of Blu-ray announcements. We've got $6 Million Man, the complete series, coming to Blu-ray, and I believe that was from Shout, the entire series, A-Team, and here's one that I couldn't fucking believe. In fact, I think I'm going to bring the trailer up for this one. Weren't you looking forward to $6 Million Man? Who was it that brought that one up to me?
That wasn't me.
That wasn't you? Mm-hmm. Okay. Somebody was. I was talking recently about $6 Million Man, and all of a sudden the fucking thing just come up, and I'm like, oh, geez, we were just talking about that. It wasn't you then. Okay. Because then somebody else also said, well, they need to bring out the woman, the Bionic Woman, too. Let me see if I can find this trailer. Okay. This has got me excited as can be. I don't even know if you know about this.
What's that specifically? The $6 Million Man?
No. This.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew about this because we didn't talk about it before the show.
Daily Variety and the Hollywood Reporter raves those dashing, sword-swinging Highlanders at it again. Highlander.
There goes the copyright. Yeah.
Let's just keep talking and loving it. Yeah.
Finally.
Yes. Oh, good. No, I did not know this was coming. So I'll just keep talking over this so we can not, get
brand
called
new
out.
transfers. So for those who've known, this has been released in Blu-ray outside
From the original
US,
masters. Okay.
but they were those up-converted fucking 480p crops.
Yeah. And yes, they're still going to be in 4x3. There's no way around that.
Yeah,
so.
see here they show what they look like in streaming too as well. Yeah, we're getting the full upgraded versions now.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah! Over 18 hours of bonus material.
Yeah, buddy.
Under the kilt.
Under the kilt.
Yeah, I can't believe that this is coming, man. I can't wait.
Oh no, this was one of the TV series that I remember looking forward to every single week. I mean, I could not wait for the next episode.
Yes.
There you go, that
kids.
That is coming when?
Wait. I don't know if we know when it's actually coming yet. I don't have a date on that one yet. But it's the official announcement is up there though. Unfortunately, don't know when it's coming out yet. So, but they posted this a while back, but we did hear a little bit more about it. So I think it's coming sooner than later. And the Night of Snoke sent us in $1 and wants to know, how come these director's cuts keep happening if the directors are told to cut their films down because of time limits? It's done as a way to make an excuse for bonus features on the DVD. Okay, well, this is a twofold question. First of all, the classic director's cut is what we would get once in a great while when a film would be well received, and the director would maybe win an Oscar for something else or something for that, and they know there's another version of it, or if they had to cut a few minutes out of it. One of the first earlier ones I can think of, at least, well, not earlier ones, but kind of more modern-ish, but yet not too new, would be like American Graffiti. Universal cut 5 minutes out of the movie. It was a big hit. They let George put the 5 minutes back in. Ever since then, we have not seen that cut down version. That version is the director's cut is now the version that we normally have. And sometimes that's usually just the case. They like to they want to play nice with the director. The director has something else they want to say with the movie. They don't feel like the version that got put out there was out there. There's been plenty of examples.
RoboCop, Aliens,
tons.
Those are the two that always come to mind.
And those are legitimate director's cut. But what happened was in the age of DVD, the studios wanted to have a reason for people to buy older films again, and a lot of times it was more so they wanted a reason to release what were they felt like the unrated versions of films sold better on DVD. So for instance, Fox had a stipulation that nearly every single movie from like 2000 to like 2000, I think 3 or 4 or 5, somewhere in there. Actually, I think it might even been 2006, had almost every one of them had like an unrated or an R-rated cut that would go along with it, so they could double dip you on the DVD in some way. And they always knew they were going to cut the movies down. And those were not really called, the reason those weren't called director's cuts 9 times out of 10, because they really weren't. Like the one I can think of right offhand, and this was done for a little bit different reason, but they have not released the unrated version ever since DVD because it's not the preferred version by the directors. And that is Team America. Because all that shit that is in Team America that's in the unrated version, that's not in the R-rated version, Trey and Matt put in there just so they could cut it down from the NC-17. They knew they were going to get an NC-17. So they put a bunch of shit in there that they knew they were going to cut out on purpose. They did not even want to plan on leaving it in there. And some of it still got left in there, but they were like, here we go. And then they just released it as an unrated version. But ever since then, they have not done that.
They learned that lesson with bigger, longer, and uncut.
Yes.
They learned that they knew exactly after that how to mess with the MPAA. And they did.
Well, and they added all that extra puppet sex because they knew if they cut that out, then they can get all their other shit in.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. But no, there's only a few. Like Andre and I bring this up quite often as far as like what are true good director's cuts and what ones actually really add anything to the film. But yeah, sometimes it was just more or less for an excuse. Sometimes they're done to just play nice. But when a movie comes out, the studio sometimes will have stipulations on how long it can be. Sometimes there's a scene or two in there. You get one producer that just feels like the necessity to cut it for some dumb fucking reason. Otherwise, it's usually just MPAA cut downs or time is the main thing. Aliens is a great example of how all that stuff was mainly cut out for time.
Right.
Like clearly it adds to the film, but you got to cut the movie down to 2 hours. What are you going to do? So,
yep.
It is what it is. The director's circumcision. But then finishing off, we got some rumors, and then we'll get into the main topics. because that's going to lead off the rumors. Red Sonja might be coming to 4K as well, along with the first 2 Conan films. So we might have that whole set to look forward to. And Heredity has also been rumored for 4K. So those are really all I have for rumors right now. And we also have to talk about Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, which I don't think Vinegar Syndrome officially announced, but me and a few other people have been hearing about it. And it makes sense because they just released a couple other MGM titles. So I'm looking forward to this because I actually enjoy the second film. It's been out of print for a while. I do have the Shout Factory disc that's worth an ungodly amount of money, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I know you said you had not seen it. It isn't. Is it official now, Mike?
It's been a long time. Yeah.
I'm gonna give him the link. I don't know if he's busy or not. You haven't had a chance to meet Mike. He substituted for you one time. But he knows all this shit. If I can find him here. Message me on Twitter, Mike, so you can get to the top of my thing because so many messages. If you're free. They did confirm it. Okay. I thought so too. And I posted something about it the other day. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. I'm also on that note, for those who missed out on the new 4K version of the first film, we're getting a non-steelbook version now from Turbine. So if you missed out on the limited release of that, you are going to be able to get that now. I think I ordered that as well. So I'll have that hopefully before too long, so I can tell you guys if it's any better than the other one, which with the HDR and all that stuff, I can imagine it will be. But yeah, when's the last time you saw Texas Chainsaw 2?
That's what I'm trying to remember. I bet it's been, oh God, I might have still been a teenager. It's been forever.
Man, you fucked up my good wig. That's my Sonny Bono wig. Oh, I love that movie. I know it's cheesy as fuck. To me, it's a flat out almost comedy. And actually, what's weird, and I know this is kind of sacrilege, but I actually saw the second one first. Don't start throwing shit at me, people.
I don't think that's look. It's based on your experience. I mean, for a lot. I mean, remember back then, a lot of times you were still seeing stuff when it just came on TV or something like that, and it's like, oh yeah, I've never seen any of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies.
Well, that video cover just stood right out because it was the Breakfast Club cover with the whole team there, and I'm just like, oh, I gotta see that. I had no real clue. I mean, I'd heard of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but like, you know, I was just like, I didn't care if I'd seen the first one at that point.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I'm looking at the cover now, and it's ringing the bell. Yeah, that had to have been. I bet it was in the late '90s at this point. I bet it's probably. I tell you when it was. I think I'm starting to remember it now. I think the last time I probably watched this, we used to do. We go out on the weekends, go drinking, come back to my buddy's apartment. Lived out on West End in New Orleans. And he had this big, at the time, huge, like, 55, 60-inch big projection box set. And he had the original PlayStation hooked up to it. We used to go back there at 1 o'clock in the morning, drunk, on a Saturday night or something like that. And we would play Resident Evil, like the OG Resident Evil, like when that stuff was in Silent Hill and all that, when it first came out. And I remember one of those nights, I think we wound up watching the first 2 Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. I think that's probably the last time I saw it.
Interesting. Yeah, and I can't believe I missed this one earlier. Sorry about that, Mike, if you're still listening. Mexican Iron Man sends in $5, says, I need to see the Netflix No Come Home to get through my day. I don't know what's going to happen to the Tobey Spider-Man and the Garfield Spider-Man and the little kid Spider-Man. I need to know.
You taped over to the ending.
No, who taped over to my ending here? No, I don't know what's happening. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. We'll get some more info on that. I'm sure there's going to be tons of special features on that. Speaking of special features, and I brought this up earlier, I just got, as you kind of noticed here, I've been kind of showing it off in the background, this lovely item here, which is the Escape from New York 4K Blu-ray set from Shout Factory, as you can see here.
Very nice.
Nice, yes. It comes with a pin and a poster. Whoop. Actually, I don't know. I've never. Well, let's open this live on. I don't even know how many pins are in here. Let's see.
A lot.
I think there's just the one that's on the back, but I'm not sure. I thought it was more than one. We'll see here if I can get it open. I need some long Coke nails to get shit open. All right. Let's take a look.
Yeah, I had the non-fancy packaging. I think I get that next week.
Yeah, I think it comes out officially in like 2 weeks. Yeah. Oh, there's a couple here.
Yeah, May 17th.
Look at that.
Pretty. Oh, that is nice.
Cool. Those are just some buttons. So yeah, it's a nice little set. I've got the Studio Canal import, which is the same exact scan. But this has a Dolby Atmos soundtrack. It has all the special features from the Shout Factory release, which I already have as well, but whatever. But yeah, you get a cool poster of the original poster art, which is nice. And as I brought up earlier, Escape from LA is available in 4K as well from Paramount. But they fucked it up, and we still have not gotten any word on when we're going to get any replacement discs. For those who are not aware of it, the center channel comes out of all 5 channels. So if you have a 5.1 setup, and I don't think there's a 2.0 version on it either. No, there isn't. So you're stuck with that. But guess what? They released a version overseas in Germany. And it's a little bit nicer. And the 4K sound works just fine, which is amazing. And not only that, it doesn't have any special features. That's all on the Shout Factory disc, but it's got some lobby cards, some stickers and stuff here, like Plutonic 7 and under protection of the United Police Force, and a poster. So I got a poster to go along with it. So that's a nice little set. And I think this was actually cheaper, even with shipping and everything, than what I paid for that one, which is hilarious. And that one only has a 4K Blu-ray. This actually has the Blu-ray too, if you will really want it. But it's it was a nice little set. That was kind of cool. I saw that online and I'm like, oh, and it's a Paramount release, so I know they have the fixed version done.
Yeah.
It's like, so when are we going to get it for the US release? That's the question. So yeah, that completes my Escape 4K collection. And I've already watched it a few times, like I said, in 4K from the Studio Canal versions. So it looks pretty good, but it's a darker film, so it's not going to have a lot of the reference quality imagery you would expect from a 4K film. 99% of the movie's in the dark, so there's a little bit better dark balance though compared to the older discs. Video Fox is here. I like that icon. I got the Steelbook edition of Battle Beyond the Stars with the poster and Saint Exum action figure, the best of the Star Wars ripoffs, in my opinion. Oh, nice. I got the one with the Steelbook, but I didn't get all the goodies with it. So, yeah. Similar to how Valiant only got the movie-only version of Escape from New York. But thank you for that, Video Fox. Is it UK? I thought it was German. I think I ordered it from a German website. That's why I think it was. And it comes up German as first option for audio. And the UPC thing on the back starts with a G something I, so maybe that's why. But maybe it is the UK. Okay. Well, either way. I thought it came from Germany.
It's all Europe. It's all the same.
It's all the same. Thing. It's all the same. I am talking to you from a security cam in Arkham. How you doing, Runner? So yeah, that was the big basics of the day. Was there anything you really wanted to discuss before we mosey on out of here, or take some more questions from the audience or anything like that?
No, like I said, my big thing was I was so excited about Event Horizon, and the response when I put it out on Twitter the other day was like, oh, everybody got so excited. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I don't know, besides Lawrence of Arabia in a few weeks, and then that one. I mean, those right now are the two biggest titles that I am looking forward to sitting down and really enjoying the hell out of when they get here. Because I've been a huge Event Horizon fan since I saw it in the theater probably 3 times when it came out. So, yeah.
Yeah, actually, I think I seen it once when it first came out, and I barely remember. Kind of like with you in Texas Chainsaw. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that one again.
I love that sci-fi horror shit. I mean, that you make a good sci-fi horror movie, and man, I'm I'm in love.
This is a good question. What is the best commentary?
Ooh, I don't think I've listened to enough. Tom would be better at this than I would.
When you get Carpenter and Kurt Russell together, those two always do a good commentary. As much as I hate Kevin Smith anymore, he used to put together some excellent commentaries. Schwarzenegger can be a fun one to listen to because he sits there and explains everything to you. You see in this part here, Conan was very upset, so he's starting to make his arms go like this, and he's I don't like it, you know, and stuff like that. You know, one of the most informative ones I've ever listened to, believe it or not, was Warwick Davis's commentary for Willow.
I've never listened to that track.
So full. I mean, of course, he was there. I mean,
well,
he gives you so much informative stuff about it that it's just like, wow, that was a very informative track. Like, he gives all this background and stuff about George and the movie and the making, and and I think it's just him. Like, I don't think there's anybody else on the track with him. He's just going through I mean, he probably had a lot of it pre-prepared, but you know, I'm sure he's talked about all this stuff so many times at like fan events and all that kind of stuff over the years. It's just like secondhand to him at that point. But no, it was one of the better tracks I've ever listened to, where I was engaged the whole time with him talking, because that's my thing is I'll listen to some and the director will sometimes drift off, or they'll find themselves watching the movie, so they get really boring.
Yeah.
And other times, if they got enough people with them, they're not really talking about the movie. They're just chumming around too much and goofing off instead of actually watching the movie. Gremlins and Goonies are another two that I remember were really fun ones.
Yeah,
because the Goonies ones because the Goonie ones, they got all the kids back together for that one. And Gremlins, they got most of the cast back. Even Howie Mandel's on there for some reason. He was like, I have nothing to add to this kind of thing. You know, he's like, I came in and did the voice later. He's like, yeah, it sucked getting into that costume every morning. You know,
I do remember vaguely. It's been a while. I'm glad you brought that up because now I want to watch it again. Is UHF the commentary?
That one has a pretty good commentary.
Yeah, Weird Al's commentary on that. I mean, I'll watch the movie probably 2-3 times a year at minimum, but it's been a while since I have watched the commentary audio track.
Yeah, Mel Brooks does some okay ones, but I believe you're right. I think he's just reading notes. Because even his Spaceball one is pretty sparing on him talking. Now, Back to the Future, they did some interesting stuff for the commentaries there. Because like the one they have, which is like a straight commentary with like Bob and Bob. I can't remember if there's a couple other people on it or not. But then they actually have like a fan Q&A session that they put as a commentary on them too. And those have a bunch of info and stuff on them. That's where they talk a lot about, like, you know, the behind the scenes stuff with what's his face, Eric Stoltz and all that kind of stuff. So like those were pretty good ones too, I remember. God, it's been a while since I've really actually sat down and listened to too many commentaries, because there just hasn't been very many lately. And they're not something I often re-listen to. Armageddon actually has a pretty funny commentary because Ben Affleck is like fucking drunk. And he's like talking shit about the movie through the whole thing. It's fucking hilarious. And I think the only place you can get it is on the Criterion version of that. But like, yeah, he's talking so much smack about the movie while he's making it. Let's see here. There was another. What was the least favorite one?
Again, don't know.
I'm trying to think of one where I went through it all and I felt like I just wasted my time. I can't think of one specifically offhand, but ones I'm not a huge fan of always is when they just get some guy who wrote like some random book about the thing, usually, which sometimes you can get some informative commentary, but if it's a newer film, I'm like, I don't understand why they just didn't get people who are actually still alive to talk about their movie. I don't give a fuck what Joe Schmo says about it. I can understand if like Citizen Kane, you're going to have like Roger Ebert and other people commentaries who actually have something to say about the movie, right? And know a thing or two about it. And I'm not saying some of these historians and whatnot don't, but like I really like 9 times out of 10, they're just some guy who wrote some book about something they like, and it's like now you're doing a commentary. Kino Lorber is actually guilty of that a lot. Oh my god, I'm trying to think of what my least favorite would have been of all time. I was not too happy with. The Star Wars ones are good, but they're very scattered. Because you have a problem of they're like recorded at different times and different people, and they're edited funky, and so it was kind of haphazard to listen to because it's tough to listen to people on multiple commentaries when they're not in the same room. Compared to the Lord of the Rings, which did it very, because they had like groups of them together, and then like Robert and those guys cut them all together and it's almost like seamless to a way, not like seamless, but like it still feels like you're part of the conversation or you're listening in on a conversation more so than somebody just going, and then we shot this at 6:30 a.m. on that day. I remember because I had to get up early. And I really liked the croissants that day. They were pretty good. Like those kind of commentaries are the ones that, or when people are just sitting there sucking their dick through the whole fucking thing. I hate that. Like, oh yeah, I remember I got this amazing idea on how to shoot this. And I just felt like I just wanted to come all over myself. I was so amazing that day. It's like, who cares? I don't give a fuck. I want to hear what happened and all that kind of stuff. And, what would it be like if I did a commentary? Depends on the movie, Stanley. I don't know if I'm an authority enough on a movie that doesn't already, like I just said, still have people that are alive enough to talk about it. So what about you, Valiant?
I was going to say, let's wait for the commentary when the Blu-ray of Indiana Jones 5 ever comes out. Well, here's the part where Indy fell off the train, where Harrison, broke his shit, and he was out for 3.5 months. And then here's the 20,000 shots that we did when Harrison Ford was gone, and we, digitally.
Honestly,
that could be fun.
If I had any place where I would have some authority, or at least would play a good host to a commentary, would be the Nightmare on Elm Street box set or the Ninja Turtle box set. If they ever did those two places would probably be the two places that I would be able to add the most, know who the most important people who should be on the commentary are, and whoever's there, what would probably be the better questions to ask them about or things to bring up. Because of those two series, I probably know the most inside and out. Otherwise, yeah, that's probably the only ones I'd say I'm anywhere near qualified for.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I know you got to run here soon, so let's see. Is there any more questions you guys had for us before you go?
Yeah, I was just looking.
Before we go, I should say.
Yeah, I was trying to see if there was anything that I missed, but no, I think we got it all. I just went and checked my pre-orders, and yeah, I've got Escape from LA coming next week. I've got Beverly Hills Cop 2 coming next week.
Did you order the import of Escape from LA? Or you mean Escape from New York?
Escape from New York. I'm sorry. I got Escape from New York coming in next week, and then Beverly Hills Cop 2. They both come out next week.
Yeah, Beverly Hills Cop 2 comes out next week, yeah.
Yeah, so I've got all that sitting there. And my Lawrence of Arabia, I've had that on pre-order for a while. Same thing with some of these other ones. So yeah, so it'll be fun. I can't wait for some of these things to show up. I did finally get to watch the first Beverly Hills Cop in 4K. It looked great. And I can't wait to see the second.
There was some people bitching about that. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? That movie looks amazing. It looks so much better than it ever did before.
People are too used to this, 100 or 400 ISO ARRI Alexa Mini LF look that it's like, it's still film stock from 40 years ago, guys. There's still.
Yeah, it wasn't the best film stock at the time. And it's really, but once you hit Beverly Hills, those scenes just fucking pop.
Yeah, well, they were all shot probably at, they're probably all shot at like 100, 200 ISO. It's in broad daylight outside. So you're using a very, very
I didn't hardly notice any film
stock.
Grain in those. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, that's what I'm saying is when you're shooting on 100, 200 ASA film stock, or now ISO they call it, but you're shooting on those really slow film
the darker
scenes.
Light. The darker scenes in the intro in Detroit had a lot of chunky,
Yeah,
It
well,
had some, but like it wasn't too bad. I mean, it's just it's just because of the film, though. That's the way it's supposed to look. I mean,
you're
and if they
shooting
do
at
anything
night.
to it, they're just going to make it look like shit.
Yeah, you're shooting at night, so that's when you're using 1600 plus film stock. I mean, it's not like they even back then it was hard to light like they do now because now you got these you can plug in these RE condors that are, LED driven lights that can put out 8 jillion lumens.
Wait till you see the second film on Blu-ray, guys, because that was shot, I believe, on Super 35 or regular 35 scope.
Talking about
Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because Tony Scott shot that right after he did Top Gun.
Yeah, I'm expecting to see. I mean, as good as the first one, I think looked. I think the second.
Oh, the second one they spent
better.
like 3 times as much money on. That's
oh
my
yeah,
point.
I think the second
and
one
it's shot in scope and everything. Yeah,
yeah. So, but I was not at all displeased with the first one
because I'm pretty sure it's not a Super 35 crop either. I think that's shot in Panavision, if I'm not mistaken. So
I'd have to look it up.
Tony Scott would have gotten the best of the best at the time. So he's right off of fucking. Like I said, he's right after doing Top Gun, and he's doing Beverly Hills Cop 2, the biggest film in the studio's history. They spent all the monies on that movie.
Oh, yeah. After what the first one did? Oh, hell yeah.
They probably spent 3 times as much as whatever Star Trek movie came out that year on it. So.
Might not be wrong.
Sad. Which I think it was true because I think 4 would have been the newest one at that time.
87?
And I think that was one of the more expensive of those bunch.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I
think that one. I think they still spent more on Beverly Hills Cop 2. I'd have to look, but it made so much money it didn't matter. It made not nearly as much as the first one, but it did very well. As far as the sequels out of the '80s go, I think Beverly Hills Cop 2 did better than most. So more people quote shit and remember shit from the second Beverly Hills Cop 2. The second film anyway, because everybody always talks about, I like the part where he goes to the Playboy Bunch. I'm like, yeah, it's in the second one.
Right. Yeah.
Like the part with Gilbert Gottfried. That's in the second one.
Second one. Yeah. Remember that time he steals the house?
That's in the second one.
Yeah.
How the fuck do you steal a house? It's my uncle's house. Come on, look at you. You all mad and shit. We got titties. We got orange juice. Get your mad ass in this poop.
Classic.
You've stolen this house. How the fuck do you steal a house?
Oh, man.
Stop what you're doing. You're doing it wrong. I'm the Beverly Hills building inspector.
God, that was classic.
Who are you? I'm Axel Foley with the Beverly Hills building inspector department. I'm here to tell you guys that you're doing this all wrong. You're fucking up these people's house. I need you to stop. Put the hammer down.
$20 million was the production budget for that one.
What? There's not supposed to be any right angles on this house. If you don't put any right angles on, it's gonna be like living in a donut. They're fucking rich. You think they know what the fuck they're doing? You want to live in a donut? Let them live in a donut. This is the old plans. Didn't you come to the meeting? No, I didn't know about the meeting. Oh, of course, you missed the last meeting. They changed the plans at the last meeting.
Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home was a few months before, at the end of '86. Yeah, they spent $24 million on that and $20 million on Beverly Hills Cop.
Okay, well that makes more sense because one's got tons and tons and tons of special effects.
Yeah, but think about that. Beverly Hills Cop.
The first Beverly Hills Cop only cost, I think, $4.
Yeah,
so
most of Beverly
8.
Hills Cop 2 budget was paying Eddie Murphy at that point,
and Tony Scott probably. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway. All right, folks.
Yepers.
Let's see, we got anything else out there?
No, right. I think we got everything pretty good. Later on, I'll be talking some more DVD Blu-ray stuff. If you want to check me out over on Fanzine's channel, you got anything coming up, Valiant?
I am going to try tonight to do a bit of coverage. The Disney earnings report was, of course, this afternoon. So we got some new Disney financial data. Nothing that's was really terribly mind-blowing, but we'll talk about it. But I think there's some very interesting points in there looking to going forward. Hopefully I can get that done tonight and have it out tomorrow. Fingers crossed. So.
And yes, Board Movie Guy, don't get me started. I could quote both films probably.
Yeah, Tom just went through the whole fucking scene.
You're the fucking guy with the truckload of cigarettes that day. I thought that was you. You almost got busted. I did get busted.
Oh, man.
I don't smoke. lucky strike. I smoke king size king. Oh shit. Fuck this. Nice doing business with you. Wait, hold up. This looks like $2,000. I can't take $2,000. This ain't a $2,000 thing. This is I need $5,000. Read my lips. $5,000.
That's the first one.
That's the first one.
Yeah.
This is a beautiful piece. I was just looking at this. How much does something like this go for? This one here, I just says it myself for about $300 million. No, $300,000.
Yeah, 300,000.
300,000. Get the fuck out of here! No, I cannot because I sell it myself.
Bronson Pinchot, man, God.
You want a little espresso? I make it up in the back there.
Put a little lemon twist.
Put a little lemon twist. Donnie, why are you wearing this shirt? It looks animal. I love Bronson Pinchot.
That's what got him his gig on Perfect Strangers.
He's the best part of part 3. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Aquil! I love what you have put together, huh? And the Hush Puppies are so good for you.
Yep.
The Annihilator 3000 or whatever fuck it is.
Well, that was just it. It's like he really didn't change, but Eddie Murphy kind of did.
Yeah. Well, the third movie has its moments. All right, we're gonna get out of here because Valiant's got to go. Thank you so much, guys, for being a part of this stream. We couldn't do this without you. I'm glad to see some of the other regulars make their way over here. Hopefully, we can rebuild the audience back over here, guys. I know it's kind of tough moving a show like this, but we appreciate
hit the share button, spread the word out. Yeah, that's the best way to
because I've gotten a lot of positive feedback about the show, so I want to keep it going. Thank you so much, guys. Take care of yourselves, and we'll catch you on the flip side.
Take care.
Filmed in front of a live studio audience.